Oh, man. Alright, let's talk about some video games. So I know it's been a minute since I've made any content here on the channel, and I'm sorry. I have been watching a lot of YouTube, a lot of anime. I have been kind of indulging some mental health time. And I think that's needed for everybody. But I stumbled upon a YouTuber that I've been watching a lot, like on and off. I kind of go in cycles of the content I watch, like whether that's Let's Plays or reviews or whatever you want to call it. Or I kind of put anime in its own little bubble. And I stumbled upon, I don't know if you guys know who nakeyjakey is, but I stumbled upon nakeyjakey and his video about how it's literally titled Dark Souls Saved Me. And it's this like unscripted video where he talks about like his story on how he first time he played Dark Souls and how it helped him and changed him at a certain point in his life. And I had been wanting to make this video that I'm making right now for a while. And I watched that video about 40 times for inspiration, even though the stories have nothing to do with each other. I just really like the way that he laid that video out. I'll put the video down in the description, so if you guys want to go watch it, you can. But if you don't know me, if this is your first time seeing my face, my name is Tanner. Most people here call me Pancake. You can call me really whatever you want to, as long as it's not a bad word, and I'll be fine with it. It's also going to be Discord down below. I'm also probably going to be launching a Patreon, but I'll talk about that at the end of the video, so that you guys don't have to sit through it if you don't want to. So let's get into talking about Breath of the Wild and how it was the unexpected journey that I really needed in the year of 2019. So 2019 was a pretty interesting year for myself. It was the year that I really started going ham on YouTube. It was the year that we all thought was really crappy before the really crappy year of our lives, which was 2020, the year of COVID. It was my junior year of college. I had lost a few friendships that year. I hadn't felt pretty lonely. Life was kind of teetering on what the hell is going on. And I didn't have anything to grasp to. I was trying to play every video game imaginable, and some of them are really cool experiences that I might talk about later on this channel specifically. But nothing really helped me move on. I still felt like I was in the same place. I was still lonely, and felt like I was nothing I could do about it. So that's the harsh reality of life sometimes. And it was really hard for me to get through that point. You know, my college roommate at the time, which is one of my best friends, ended up moving home earlier that second semester. So I was living basically by myself. So I was spending a lot of time alone. I was trying to cope with the fact that the last season of Game of Thrones was garbage. And I was trying to convince myself that it wasn't, but it was bad. It just wasn't good. And I was really sad because I really liked that show and the way that the world was set up. And I was trying to find like a coping mechanism with the fact that me and all my friends were kind of growing out of the multiplayer video game stage of our lives. Like, Fortnite wasn't the same anymore. Apex Legends wasn't that much fun. You know, with all the updates and the season updates, we had all stopped playing. Call of Duty was meh at that point. Nobody was really playing it that much. Nobody really cared about Black Ops 4 that late into its life cycle. So, in reality, wasn't really doing much in terms of socialization. So, I found myself pining for nostalgia more than anything. And I really wanted to get the Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee game, one of them, because I wanted to play it. It was the new system. I knew that they were going to make new Pokemon games as well in 2019, most likely. So I went, okay, I'm going to buy a Switch. I traded in my Xbox One. I bought a Switch, and I bought Let's Go Pikachu, which was the first game I got for my Switch, surprisingly enough. Breath of the Wild, a game that it was one of my all-time favorite games, wasn't even on my mind when I first bought my Switch. I ended up not getting Breath of the Wild until probably a couple weeks after I got my Switch, but that's part of the story, so we'll get there in a minute. So I played, I would say probably for about a couple hours of Let's Go Pikachu. Kind of got bored. Wasn't really what I was expecting. I wasn't having a whole lot of fun playing the game. I was trying my best. but it wasn't helping me at all get to a better point in my head. I was still lonely. The nostalgia hit that I thought Let's Go Pikachu would bring just wasn't there. And honestly, I think it made me more sad that Pokemon wasn't helping, because usually that was the game that would drive me out of like a rut or hard times, because it reminds me of my childhood. So I put it down, I stopped playing my Switch. I basically used it as a YouTube machine, as like a little tablet I would carry around with me, and I would watch YouTube on it and not kill my phone, which was really cool. I still do that every once in a while, but not really part of the story. The thing about Breath of the Wild that I needed to understand and didn't know was that it was going to be a really long and adventurous journey that would teach me a lot. So, after some convincing, one of my friends was like, you should get Breath of the Wild, you should get Breath of the Wild, you should get Breath of the Wild. I didn't know if I really wanted to get the game or not. It was $60 at the time. I didn't have a whole lot of money to spend on games and things. And I really wanted to get Smash Ultimate because that had just come out. And I wanted to play Smash with some friends, and with him specifically. So I was like, no, I want to get Smash first. I'm going to get Smash first. So, I'm going to put Breath of the Wild off. But in the meantime, I ended up looking up videos on YouTube. So I ended up watching some Let's Plays, which are really cool and were really fun to watch. Got me really interested in the game, but I still decided I want Switch. I want Switch. I really decided that I wanted Smash. So I didn't get Breath of the Wild, but Noah bought it for me. A really cool dude. You probably know him on the channel. He's basically one of my all-time best friends. He ended up buying the game for me the same day that I ended up getting Smash as my early birthday present so that I could play the game. And I distinctly remember right where I'm sitting recording this video on my bed in my bedroom right now, because my office is being renovated downstairs by, well, me. I don't have a team doing it. I was sitting over there at my desk, basically where my camera is, and I played like the introduction to Breath of the Wild, where you're in the little hyperbolic time chamber hidey hole thing. You wake up, Zelda's like, wake up, Link, wake up. And you put your clothes on, get your phone, tablet, Sheikah Slate, and then you go out, and then the whole world's like, oh, you know? And it's such a beautiful thing. And I didn't even notice at first, because it was something that I didn't think about. And I was like, okay, I'm going to put this down. I'm not going to play anymore, because I knew in the back of my head that if I kept playing, that I was not taking him home that day, because I wasn't going to be able to put the game down. So I ended up not playing that day. I brought him home. Came back here, and then I played all night. I beat that game. I put like 60 to 70 hours into that game in 7 days, and I beat the game. And then I played more. The only thing about that game that I didn't like was the fact that after you beat Ganon, you didn't get to explore the realm. Like, you didn't get to see the castle after Ganon was defeated. Hoping that in Breath of the Wild 2, or whatever it will be called, we'll get a chance to see the world post-Calamity. I think that would be really awesome. Whenever, like, we don't have to worry about the Calamity stuff anymore. We can explore the world, see kind of what the villain's going to be like. I'm really excited about that, but that's not part of the story. And, well, it's not really a speculation video either, so maybe that'll be another video too. It's crazy because Breath of the Wild is one of the first Zelda games, if not maybe the first. I know it's the first 3D Zelda game that doesn't have a companion character. So you play the game by yourself. You have to figure everything out alone. At no point in the game is there something that's behind you at all times saying, you should go here next, or you should go and do this next. You just have to make all the decisions by yourself. You are urged to beat Ganon, and that is it. You don't have to go and do anything at all in the game. Everyone is just giving you suggestions. So they go, oh, you should go to the Zora, and you should help them with their problems. You should go visit the Rito and help them with their problems. And you see all these divine beasts on the map at all times. So you can go, and they're basically the dungeons of the game. And you can go defeat them, and that helps beat Ganon in the final fight. But you don't have to do any of that. You don't have to at all do any of the quests to go beat Ganon. There is no step-by-step way to beat Breath of the Wild. And there's no step-by-step way to beat any boss in the game or any enemies. There are 1,000 different ways to do anything in the game, and I think that is the reason why the game is just so fun to play. because my experience is completely different from your experience playing the game, because it's not like Dark Souls or a game where there's a meticulous way to beat a character or a boss battle. You can do whatever you want because the game allows you to do that with its physics engine and with all of the tools at your disposal and all the different weapons you can use. You don't have to wait to dodge, parry, roll, hit, dodge, parry, roll, hit. And that experience is something that I think is lost in a lot of open world games. The only game that made me feel the same way that Breath of the Wild did before was Skyrim, and that was years and years ago, and it wasn't even because of the gameplay. There's a specific instance in Skyrim where I cheated the system to get a really cool sword because I looked up a tutorial on YouTube how to do it. And the Breath of the Wild's like the whole game is like that. You can cheat the game and do whatever you want to. You can use, like, I remember specifically when I went into the snowy area for the first time, I was like, oh, how do I keep myself warm? I don't have any warm clothes, so I equipped the flame sword onto my back, and that had kept me warm the whole time I was running through the snow and up the mountains. I was like, this is such a cool game mechanic that nobody ever explains. No one says, oh, if you put a flame sword on your back, it'll keep you warm when you're walking through the snow. Nobody tells you that, and that's really cool. I remember the Zora boss, where you are fighting in the water. One of the things you can do is you can use the ice power on your Sheikah Slate to, like, pause the things and shoot them back. I was just hitting it with arrows and I beat it. I didn't know that you could even use your power to do all that stuff. And just the fact that there are different things you can look at in the game and see that there are different ways you can defeat bosses or do different things in the game is insane. And then moving on from that, the game itself is about time. The biggest theme for me in that game that I took away is from time. That time moves on. That no matter what you do, no matter if you fail, if you succeed, if you think you're a failure, time will move on without you. But you always have a chance to rectify what happened. So in the game as Link, you are the champion from 100 years ago. But not a lot of people believe that you're the champion until you prove yourself. And that was something in life that I needed to realize. Not everyone is going to believe in you. And not everyone is going to go, oh, yes, that is the guy. Because that's not how we're wired to think, When you're in high school, you think that you deserve the world, that you deserve everything. When in reality, the world doesn't owe you a thing. And coming to terms with that, it took me a very long time. But it happened that year. And playing Breath of the Wild and going on this wild journey, seemingly alone, getting to defeat these bosses in any way that I felt, getting to explore this world of hope and this world of despair was awesome. It was insane, and beating the game in 7 days and this enriching story that I made for myself was awesome. Getting over the hump that time doesn't always mean the end of things is cool. Anything can happen at any point. And just because that I didn't do something right now doesn't mean I can't come back and I can't finish that fight in a couple years. And that's a really big metaphor to think about, that not everything is perfect. Not everything will last. And there are times in your life that you may think that you have failed, but maybe it just wasn't your time to succeed yet. And Breath of the Wild taught me that people don't always have to look at you as the champion. People don't always have to look at you to see that you are something special. Because inside, you can know that you're special, or you can know that you're the champion without everyone believing in you. If you know deep down that you're the champion and you're the one that's going to conquer whatever you're trying to do, then you've got this. And it took a video game to teach me that. It took me a video game to teach me that you can only be as good as you believe that you are. Breath of the Wild was something that I wasn't necessarily expecting to ever play. I didn't think I was going to buy a Switch, and I did. One of the awesome little things that I ended up doing was, before the end of the game, before I began, and the final thing I did was search down the 12 memories, and I got the quest. I got all the cutscenes, I should say, to see the backstory of Breath of the Wild. And I think that was a really awesome way to tell the story of Breath of the Wild, to unlock that final 13th cutscene. See right before you got stealed away, and Zelda going to fight Ganon alone in the castle. And seeing that sometimes you need help. Sometimes there are people in your life that can help you. You can't do everything alone, and you can't save everyone without help. And I think that is an awesome sentiment to take away from the game. And if you haven't played Breath of the Wild yet, I implore you to play the game, because even though I have spoiled some of the things, I think it's still a worthwhile investment for your time, especially if you own a Switch. If you haven't played the game yet, it's been out for 4 years now, almost 4 years. I think you should give it a chance. It'll definitely be a really fun experience for you, and I think you'll love the game. Wow. Feels really good to get that out, because I've been wanting to talk about it for a long time. So I'm not going to spend too much time on the Patreon and stuff, but I'm going to put, if it is live, there'll be a link down below. If you want to go support me, the baseline is going to be $1. I'm going to be posting my music there. I'm probably going to do like a monthly video there for Patreon subscribers. I'm going to do some like lists and some blog posts for you guys specifically over there. If you want to support me as a creator, that would be awesome. I would appreciate it. Also, join the Discord server. We can talk about video games and all the fun stuff. And I'll see you guys back here for the next video. I'm hoping that I might do something more in tune to, let's say, like a scripted video? I don't know. Yeah. But that's cool. So this is the time that Breath of the Wild was really impactful for my life, if that's something you care about. So I'll see you guys back here for the next video. There's probably stuff all around my face right now. If you want to click on any of those things, you can. If you don't want to, that's chill too. Check out the description. You might find some stuff you like. And leave a comment if you've played Breath of the Wild or not. I'll see you back here later. Bye. Oh, man.